Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a good day. As Tristan said, I got distracted trying to hunt down all the cherry tomatoes in my garden. Uh, but uh, they have grown quite thick, so trying to hunt them all down has become an adventure. But we are here to do some puzzles, including, as always, starting with the most voted on puzzle. This one by this one voted for by David, Malrog, Russ, Daniel, Luda, and Ken. So I should I should mention that we always start with the most voted on puzzle. This puzzle is part of a 44-way tie at 6 votes. So if you have voting privileges or you want voting privileges, you can consider how powerful you can be, because one vote could sway it towards any of these sorts of things. So anyway, thank you to those of you who support. And if you do support and you haven't looked at puzzles in a bit, would be a great time to do so. I have a Kropki Philomeno puzzle that I set on stream last Friday in testing. It has gotten enough tests, but I've only actually gotten feedback from one person, so I'm waiting for one more person to do it. And then if one more person does, then I'll go ahead and post it. So if you're looking forward to seeing that puzzle, which I believe I called Mambo, then Mamba? Whichever one is the dance. I had not until recently realized that Mambo and Mamba were different things. And one of them is a dance and one of them is a snake. Oh wow, Malrog supporting at windmill level for 22 months. Let's get a windmill dance for Malrog. Boop boop doop woo! Boop doop wah! Boop boop doop wee! Ba-doop boop ba-doop boop 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 wah! By the way, Laura asked where the voting happens. The voting happens on the Discord for anyone who donates at the windmill level or above. So you can do that, and you can always ping Tristan if there's something weird going on with that. So bear that in mind. All right, so let us do this Thermo puzzle, which has a really stunning grid of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday thermos. So all we have to do here is we have to make sure that as we go from the bulb to the tip, the numbers get strictly bigger. So this could be like 3, 4, 5, for example, but it doesn't have to go up like that. It could go 3, 6, 7, 9, or something like that. So do that. I don't know how many windmills there are, but you can count them on the screens at break, Selena. And it is certainly more than 6, because there's 6 turbines, and turbines can do that. For the 7K pack, oh wow. Also, David has donated $10 for life getting in the way recently, but constantly a joy to see incredible brains work their magic and be entertained on a daily basis by a plethora of special setters. Thank you, David. Let me get you a donation dance. Boop-boop-a-doop, woo! Boop-boop-a-doop, wah! Doop-boop-a-doop, wee! Ba-doop-boop-a-doop-ba-doop-boop-boop-boop-boop-wah! Thank you, Zach, and thank you, David. All right, so excellent. So let us have a look at this. So one thing you can do is you can sort of pencil mark, because this thermo is really long. So for example, it's actually 7 cells long. So this digit has to be at least 7. So it can only be a 7, 8, or 9. And the way I find most efficient to do this is to actually just write the minimum each cell can be along it, and then write the maximum each cell can be along it, and then just fill in the middle numbers. That is sort of like, for me, the most efficient way to figure out what people usually call goodliffing, to figure out exactly how to do that. So that is a
David
good
Ratner donated $10 through
mind.
Super Chat. For life
And
getting
so
in way recently, but
we can do a
constantly a
similar
joy to see
thing
incredible
over
brains
here,
work
because
their
this is
magic
also
and be
a
entertained
7-long
on a
thermo,
daily basis
and
by
so
a
you can do the
plethora
same
of special
thing.
setters.
Oops, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, a thing that I notice in row 2 happening here is that I have what's not quite a septuple yet, but is almost a septuple. And in fact, it will be a septuple if I note what this can be. Namely, this can be 3, 4, 5, or 6, or 7. And so what I have here is the rarely spotted 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 septuple. And so in particular, the way I think probably most people would first see this, that Chad is making fun of me for, is to ask where 1 and 9 go in row 2. Because I can't put a 1 and a 9 anywhere partially along a thermo, and so these just become a 1-9 pair. And so that's actually going to have some implications to how we goodlift this. It's also worth noting, once you see that once in a puzzle, then my brain wonders if I'm supposed to see it other places. And so in column 5, I also see that 1 and 9... Oh, sorry, no, that's not true. Sorry, 9 can go 2 places, but 1 can only actually go down here, but maybe that's not super useful. Anywho, we should probably note that this now is at least 2. And so we can do, this is at least 2, this is at least 3, this is at least 4. This is also at least 4. So this is at least 5 and at least 6. And then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And that one could be as much as 7. So we can go ahead and fill those in before we place the 1 in box 5 that chat is excited about. Aha! No, we're not going to do that yet. We're going to notice actually about 2 in column 5 first. Because in column 5, now, because of this 1-9 pair, I can't put 2 partially along here, and this is like way too far along this thermo. So in fact, actually, these are a 1-2 pair. If we continue along that. Oh, why did I not put 8 and 9 at this? I don't know. Oh, sorry, it can't be 9 because there's a 9 in the box, but it could be 8. I don't know why. But I think now the natural question to ask is, where's 3 in column 5? because, again, this thing is 5 along this Thermo. And so this can't be a 5. Or sorry, this can't be a 3, and neither can any of these. So in fact, the only place to put a 3 is here. And so we get to start with an unexpected 3 dance. Zach is debating whether Giant Zach is professional enough yet to handle the 3 dance, but has decided to handle it himself. Boop boop doop, woo! Ba-doop doop, wah! Ba-doop doop, wee! Ba-doop doop, ba-doop doop, ba-doop doop, waha! Thank you, Zach. And actually, you can do the same thing with 4 in this column. That also has to go there, because, again, this number here has to be at least 5, because it's 5 along this Thermo. And so we can look at the Sudoku-logical implications of all of that stuff. And so one of the Sudoku-logical implications is that we now have a 5-6 pair in row 2. And we can turn on the row column labels, by the way. The 5-6 pair here is actually going to mean that these digits can't be 6. So those are actually a 7-8 pair. So we've got a 2-3 pair, a 5-6 pair, and a 7-8 pair, which is pretty cool. Let's see. We know one of these is 9, but let's see. Can this really be a 5 is a good question to ask. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't immediately see why that doesn't work. So I guess we should probably ask where 1 can go in this box and lead to many exciting options. Oh, sorry. No, we don't have to do that. Sorry. Martin has saved us because I put a 3 partially along this Thermo. So that certainly isn't a 5. So that's actually a 2, and that's actually a 1. Over here. So I know one of these 2 is 1. I'm not sure that I can do too much more with that, but we will see. Well, I was going to get to the 1, but then people kept seeing other things. So we'll fill in the 1 now, which will give us the 9 and the 1 over there. But that all works out. So 3, 4, 5 works over there. Yeah, so we know these are all from, this is at least 5, this is at least 6, this is at least 7. 7 would make those an 8, 9 pair. Let's see. I'm looking at what Selena says. Selena retracts 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so this is already 7, 8, or 9 automatically. Yeah, 2 in box 5 actually also is placed by the combination of this 2. Oh, I guess actually even 2 could never go along here. Actually, 2 was also only ever able to be there. 3, though, could sneak up there or there. Although I guess 3 definitely has to be in this row is probably worth marking. Yeah, these are still 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I think that's a thing. Yeah, we've got a, if we actually fill this in, that's actually a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple. So that means that this digit's a naked 9 because it can't be 5, 6, 7, or 8. There we go. Okay, so that's a 9. That can't be a 5 anymore. And so these are all from 1, 2, 3, 4 to finish out the triple. That one's not a 1, of course. Yes, this can't be 7 anymore. We didn't ever update the pencil mark. When this became a 7 or an 8, this can't be 7 anymore, Ron points out. So we've got all of that. These 2 digits are the same, actually. We can relish them. And that's owing to the fact that I have two overlapping 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruples. This is the digits 5, 6, 7, 8 once each, and this is the digits 5, 6, 7, 8 once each, except these three are common to both, so these two have to be the same. And that all means that this is not an 8. So we have that. Was trying to think about something like where's the other 8, 9 in this row, but I'm not 100% sure that I know. I guess I know the 9 is over here just by regular old Sudoku. For what it is worth. I don't actually know whether green circle is here or here. Hey, Daniel, how are you doing? Let's see. I should just go ahead and bite the bullet and good lift this. So 9, 8. I think that is probably worth doing given how many Sudoku things have happened. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have all of that. Except I know that the 3 here is looking across, so neither of these can actually be 3, although I don't think it does a lot more than that immediately. But we do have that. I know the 9 over here is in one of these. I'm not going to good lift that piece. Probably worth mentioning that this one is at least a 5 for what it is worth. Yes, this can't be 5 because of the Thermo. See, more Thermo updating necessary. This can't be 5 anymore because that number is at least 5 and this number has to be bigger. So in fact, this is 6 or 7 only. So the 5 and the 8 are definitely down here. Row 1, column 3 also. Thank you. So that actually gives us a 6, 7 pair, actually, when I noticed that. So these are 4, 5, 8, 9 only. And that one I know is not a 9. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, this row is kind of restricted because I can't put 1 or 2 anywhere along here. And so where are the 1 and the 2 in this row? This is Screaming Ice Cube's point. That can't be a 1, 2 because there's already a pair. And so the other 1, 2 in row 8 has to be here. But then you ask where the 3 could go. Oh, no, the 3 could go there. Otherwise, well, the 3 could never go here. Could the 3 possibly go here? Is the only possibility for the other place the 3 could go if it's not here. And if that were a 3, that would be a 2 and a 1. That looks okay. And yeah, we can do a very similar thing with 8 and 9. Now, note that could be 8, but not 9. Actually, just start with 9. 9 is the easiest. 9 in this row can only go here. And that then makes the 3 easier because the 9 took the place the 3 wanted to go. 3 can't go here, by the way. I didn't actually say it. 3 can't go here because these would be a 1, 2 pair and would break that. So 3 in the row can only go there with a 2 and a 1 over there. So that's a 2 and a 1 over there. That's a 1 there. That's a 3 and a 4 over there. That's a 2. That has become a 3. These digits not being 9 has some downwind impact because now that can't be 8, and now that can't be 7, and now that can't be 6, and now that can't be 5. And now that can't be 4, so it just is a 2. Okay, what about 8 in this row? 8 in this row now can only go here, I believe. because there aren't enough digits after 8 to put it along this Thermo. So that is an 8, and that's a 9. I believe we also get. Let's see. Okay, let's see. This is not 4 or 8. Now, now we are meant to re-examine the question about the nature of 9 in box 5. Because remember, 9 in box 5 used to be able to go in one of these two places, but it can't anymore go here because of that 9. So now the 9 goes there. Very good. Or I guess we could have just sudoku'd it into the box. That would have been equally efficient. Let's see. Now 7 in row 8. Yes, this can't be 7, right? When I checked whether this could be 7 before, I concluded that this being 7, 8, 9 was fine. However, this being 7, 8, 9 is not quite as fine once you realize there's a 9 over here. In fact, actually, this digit just is a 9. That will probably make this a little bit easier. So I can't put 7 in either of these two cells, and I can't put it there. So I've just got to put it there. Let's see. So let's see. So I was trying to do something cute with green circle, but I couldn't quite make it work in my head. Yeah, 6, I think. Oh, no, I can't put 6 here. Because if I put 6 here, I need a 7, 8, or a 9 there, and I don't have it. So the 6 can only go there or there. Which forms like an X-wing on 6s, I suppose. Do I care about this X-wing on 6s? I mean, I realize it removes 6 from this cell exactly, but I don't know that I care. This can't be a 4. How about that? If this digit were a 4, these would have to be from 1, 2, 3, except I only have 3 available, and so that would not work. In fact, actually, you could just say if this were a 4, this number would have to be less than 4, and there are no numbers less than 4 that are allowed to go in this cell. And I certainly can't put 4 here because I would have to invent a 3.5 number. So I'd have to use like halvers or something. So that is the 4. Let's see. So, hey, Ken, how are you doing? Yes, this has become a 5, 6, 7, 8 quadruple, Emma points out. So that's a 4. Which means that there's a 4 in one of these two cells just by Sudoku. If that's a 4, that's a 3, which doesn't sound amazing, but what are you going to do? The 8 in this column is only going to go one of these two places. Actually, this isn't a 7, 8, or 9, so this is only ever a 5 or a 6, just by even regular Sudoku, not just ignoring entirely the whole bit about everything. So that means this is 6 or 7, and this is 7 or 8. Doesn't quite get there, but what are you going to do? Let's see. This number is at least 5, actually. I should, when I proved this couldn't be 4, I could have just noted this before. This number is at least 5 because it's not 1, 2, 3, or 4 just by Sudoku. And it can't be bigger than 5, or I could never fill this. So actually, this goes 5, 6, and that's a 5. Which is, I think, what Matt Laffey was saying. Although I just saw a cell name and then filled it in. So let's see. So that goes 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 6, 8, 5. I do feel like thermos have definitely gone out of fashion, and I understand why, but they're fun to do every now and then, I think. Okay, so this is now 3 or 4. I don't know which one yet. Oh, is this a naked single? Yeah, it's a 6, 7, or 8, and it's not a 6 or a 7. Okay, that will make life easier. 8, 7, 6. I won't even describe what I was trying to do by like looking at where pairs of 7, 8 looked at places and everything. It was going to be bad. Okay, so now we know what these numbers are. They are 3, 4. Because I need to put a 3 and a 4 here, and that is one nice thing always about thermos is always, once you know the digits on them, you know the order those digits go in. Let's see, if this were a 5, that would be a 6, and that would be an 8. Sure. Okay, what about these digits? That also seems very worthwhile to note. That is a 6 or an 8. Okay, so this can't be a 5 anymore, because if this is a 5, I guess, sorry, let me say this in a not ridiculous way. Here's the not ridiculous way to say the thing I saw. This is a 5, 6, 8 triple, so this can't be a 5. But you would have loved the ridiculous way. Let's see. Okay, so this is not 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be 5, but not 6 or 7. It certainly can't be 8 if you look at it, because that would break the ever-living daylights out of this thermo. In fact, that can't even be 8 if you look at the thermo. But this just is 5, just by virtue of the fact that it can't be anything else. So we get all of that. That is an 8. That's a 2. That's an 8 and a 5 and a 6. It's a 5, an 8, and a 6, and a 9, and a 7. And I think I can now fill in that this is a 7 only. And I think now I can click the magic marker and go like that. 4, 2, 6, 1, 3, 2, 1. Very nice puzzle there. I quite enjoyed that. We don't do a lot of 2-star puzzles, but that one was well worth doing. Build your own thermo. Oh, that sounds scary. Let's see. What are we going to do next? Let's do this Kropki Cave Loop by Itrio. Hey, Shroomy, how are you doing? All right. You did. It was quite a nice one too, and I know you're sort of doing beginner puzzles. If you're sort of working on doing stuff, I think that would be a great puzzle for you to do if you want. Busy with school. What are you studying, if I could ask? Okay, so what are the rules here? Normal Sudoku rules. We need to draw a 1-cell wide loop of orthogonally connected cells. The loop may not touch itself even diagonally. Okay, so here's a thing that is sometimes very helpful for the loops may not touch themselves. So what that's really saying is I can't do this. And that doesn't really make a lot of sense if what you're using is this tool, but it actually makes a lot of sense if what you're doing is coloring the loop. And the reason why is sort of like if you get here, it's sort of messy to figure out like exactly how am I supposed to navigate through this mess. So if the loop can't touch itself, generally I try and color the loop rather than drawing the loop, even though I generally am a bigger fan of drawing the loop, but it helps me try and internalize that rule. Okay, adjacent digits along the loop. Oh, awesome, Shroomy. Delighted to hear that. Adjacent digits along the loop must have a Kropki relationship. That is, they either have to be consecutive or have a 2-to-1 ratio, which means it's not a Kreska line, because on Kreska lines, digits can't repeat. I learned some years ago from Naverio in the most painful possible way. Digits in circles are on the loop and give the total number of loop cells, including itself, seen in horizontal and vertical directions combined. None loop cells block the vision. Okay, so first off, this is a corner. because if this is on it and it's a loop, we've got to do that. But note, I can't take that cell, so this cell's just off the loop. Actually, we're going to use the less oppressive off the loop. So then, because it's a loop, those two are both on the loop. So this is at least a 5. But each loop cell shares an edge with exactly 2 other loop cells. Yeah, and I do have to remember the loop can't touch itself diagonally too. Oh, what are the squares? Sorry, I did not even read that part. Digits on squares are not on the loop. There we go. So we can mark them as not on the loop. Sorry, I think my head is covering it too. So both I just apparently got distracted and didn't read that part, and also I covered it up with my face. Digits on squares are not part of the loop and give the total number of non-loop cells seen in all horizontal and vertical directions combined. Okay, and I know these are loop cells as well. So this can't be a loop cell because it would immediately force I don't know what you call it. It would force the loop to touch itself if it was a loop cell because of that whole interaction. I mean, all the circle digits are at least 3 for whatever that is worth. It seems like very little to me. Yeah, it would force a very naughty loop. See, I can just get away with taking this cell or taking this cell. And I can think about the fact that these two are either consecutive or one is double the other, although I guess they can't be consecutive, right? They can't be consecutive. One of these is double the other. I'm going to mark that. And the reason they can't be consecutive is because this cell definitely sees 2 cells that this one doesn't. So I'm putting a black X here to stand for the fact that it's a black dot, which is the traditional symbol for one is double the other, but I can't draw a black dot. So this is 6 or 8, which means this is 3 or 4 for what it's worth. Yeah, the white X's are going to be great. I don't intend to mark everything, but like here it was useful to mark. This is 8 and that's 4. Okay, let's see. If this were 8 and 4, yeah, 3, 6 doesn't work. 3, 6 doesn't work because of this square, right? Okay, so Sweet Blues points out, if I try and do 3, 6, it looks like this, but now the loop has to turn here or it's going to take an extra cell. Okay, here, I completely agree with the logic, but let me actually say it a different way. The loop definitely takes this cell, because if the loop doesn't take this cell, this number is at most 5. So the loop takes this cell, and then what really Sweet Blues has noticed is that this is a corridor or a cloister, so the loop has to go there. The loop can't come here because it would crash into itself, and that would be all manner of problems. But now, the point is, now this number must be 8. And so we get to bring out Zach for the 8 dance. Big Zach definitely is not athletic enough to do the 8 dance yet. He may not quite make it to Zach's spectacular levels, but Zach can do the 8 dance. Boop, 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 woo! Ba-doop, ba-doop, wah! Ba-doop, ba-doop, wee! Ba-doop, 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 wah! Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that makes this a 4. Which makes this green, and then makes this blue, which makes this immediately a corner, which we have to do corner things with. Oh, well, good luck, Shroomy. I hope you enjoy yourself. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is the end of that piece. Okay, so we're in good shape. That can't be part of the loop. In fact, this must be part of the loop, actually, if I sort of continue that logic. Okay. Yes, that's a good point. This number, I already forgot about the whole rule. This can only be a 7 or a 9, and if it's a 9, you have a big problem. is Screaming Ice Cube's point, because this number either has to be in a 2-to-1 ratio with 8, which means it can only be 4 or 16. But we've already used 4 in the box and 16 in the row. So it has to have a white dot relationship, which means it has to be 7 or 9. But the problem with 9 is that then what is this going to be? And the answer is nothing. So this has to be a 7. And now this has to be a 6, actually. And then we get down to 3 or 5 here. This can be 2, 3, or 5 for whatever that is worth. The loop can't come here because if it did, it would touch itself orthogonally or close or any other myriad bad things that might happen to such a loop. So we can get rid of that. Good spot to Emma. This cell is at least 4 and at most 5, but it's not 4. So it must be 5. And so that blocks off this cell, which forces the green down like that. Because if that was green, we would have an issue. Okay, so there's our 5. Okay, and so that means this number is a 6, because it's either a 2.5 or a 10, or it is a 4 or a 6. And of those, 6 is the only realistic possibility in this particular instance. Yeah, the loop can't come here, Matt Laffey points out, because if the loop comes here, the loop has either touched itself orthogonally or closed, which is not good. Okay, and so now we can blue all of these cells because once the loop has done this, I can't touch myself orthogonally or whatever the other word is, or diagonally. There we go. Okay, so this number is pretty big already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this number is a 7, 8, or 9 at most. No, this is not blue. Sorry, this is also blue. So this is actually only an 8 or a 9. This is blue because this is blue because it touches itself diagonally. Now this cell needs to be green for lots of different reasons. One of which is that I know one of these two has to be green, or this number is like infinity. But as soon as this is green, this is also green. That's one proof. The other proof that I suspect some chat members would like better is the way that Nicholas described it, which is that this green needs to connect out of this upward region, and the only way out is through here. So whichever way you want to do that, that tells me that the loop definitely does that, which means that this is definitely now I think it's an 8, but I'm going to recount it just to be double sure. It is an 8. Okay. So we either do this or that, which is, I think, the more likely option, but we shall see. Right. This cell is blue because of the no branching, which means this cell can't be green. If this cell was green, the problem, let me just show you in the alternating palette. If this cell is green, that makes both of these blue. And now the problem is these two green circles definitely have the same digit in them. So that can't be green. That must be blue. And the green can't turn that way, because if the green turns this way, now it dies in some unpleasant way. So all of that is also not loop. Oh, Ichiro also used this for the Katadoku pillar. Very nice. My Katadoku pillar contribution was the Zeta EST possible combination of rule sets. You could probably guess exactly what it is if you know much about my taste in puzzles. Okay, so these two numbers need to either differ by 1 or be double the other. Yes. If that is green, then these two squares now are the same, Ron points out. So in fact, that can't be green, which then forces the Sudoku pillar to do that, or whatever you like. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I did not do that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try again. Okay, that is a 5. This number is a 4. So this is a 5 or an 8. Those are the two options. I probably will know which one if I think very carefully about it. Let's see. If it were an 8, we'd have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Does that seem bad? It doesn't immediately seem bad to me. This number doesn't have a lot of other options, which, namely, it can be consecutive with 4, in which case it's 3, or it can have a ratio of 2 to 1 with 4, in which case it would be 2 or 8. I guess it has more options than I wanted it to. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so this is a 6, 7, or 9. Is what Selena is pointing out. And so the point is, from Selena, is that if I made this an 8, then I would need to green over like this, at which point this would become blue and that would become blue, and this would become an 8, which is a funny sort of problem. Okay, so Screaming Ice Cube is encouraging me to think about these two numbers. So naively, this can be 2 or 3, I believe. And so then what can this be? So if this is a 2, then this can... Is the point that these are always a 2-3 pair? I think it is. Because if this is a 2, then this is a 3. It's the only option. If this is a 3, then this is a 2, and it's the only option. So these are always a 2-3 pair, weirdly enough. So these are 7, 9 for sure. But 9 doesn't go next to 6 so well, if you look at it. So 7, 9 over there. Okay, 7 only goes next to 6 and 8, so this has to be an 8. And so this is a 5. Now that makes that blue, which makes those green. That is blue. Sorry for ruining Selena's point there. So now either this is blue, in which case that makes this a 9, or this is... Oh, well, this just isn't green. Never mind. I was going to say either, but there's no either. This just is a 9 once I fill in the things. I was getting ahead of myself, seemingly, as one is wont to do. Let's see. Just like earlier, this can't be a 9. Because if it were a 9, this would need to be an 8, and that would repeat. And this can't be a 7, so this is a 4. I think we did that exact logic up here. So that means there's a 4 and an 8 down here. Sorry, just by Sudoku. Which actually forces this to be a 6 if you look at it, because I can't be a 5. And 6 doesn't connect to 4 or 8, actually. So these are 4, 8 pair. I'm going to get rid of this X that's bothering me. Okay, so we could go 6, 3, 4, 8. We could go 6, 7, 8, 4. There's a couple options that we could do. However, if we do better, as chat has done, which is to ask where 7 goes in this box, it's actually placed there. And 7 and 4 are not friends in this puzzle, so that is a 4, which I think is going to make this a 2 or a 3. But I'm just going to double check. Let's see. What are these left? These are one goes here just by sudoku. So yeah, this is a 2 or a 3. And so we can do this sort of 2-3 thing in either order, funnily enough. Let's see. Okay, 1 is in one of those 2 cells. That's not super exciting. Let's see. This 4... Oops. Hopefully I didn't break the microphone. I accidentally touched it, which always scares me. This could be a 3. I think this can only be a 2 or a 3 as well, actually. Uh-oh. Why did my keypad stop working? Hello? Keypad? You were working just fine a second ago. There we go. This can only be 2 or 3 because 8 and 5 are already gone. Okay, so 2 only goes with 1 and 3 and 4. So if this is a 2, then this is a 3. If this is a 3, I don't think these can be a 2-3 pair, though. There's nothing that's consecutive with both 2 and 3, right? I don't think this being 2 actually works, because I think it breaks that cell, right? If this is a 2, that's a 3, that's a 2. There's nothing that Kropki is both 2 and 3. 4, no, 4 does. You're right, 4 does, but except 4 is there. So when I said there's nothing, there is something, but it's not a good something. In fact, I actually see this can only be a 4. If I look at things that are consecutive with 5 that aren't 6. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So yeah, we were doing if this is 2, 3. This can't be 2 or 3, because if these are a 2-3 pair, the only thing this can be is 4. So if this isn't 2 or 3, that means this digit is at least 6, and therefore is only 6, and that's a 3. And now this is a 3 or a 7, and it's not a 7 because 7 doesn't connect to 2 or 3, so that's a 3 and that's a 2. And we know there's a 1 down here in one of these cells, just for the column. Oh, that 3 actually filled in this 5 over here, actually. And so now this is 4 or 6. I still don't know which one. Oh, I apparently do. Yes, I do, because there's a 6 immediately above it. How about that? So this is a 4. Okay, so this is not 2 or 8 or 5. This is only a 3, actually. If we look at that. If this is green, it's a 6, but I don't immediately know if that is problematic or not. Let's see. What are these digits? They are 5, 2, and 9. And that one is a naked 9 out of those. Let's see. What are these digits? One of them's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's too many digits, right? They aren't 5. There's a 5 in the box data. That is that, so we can get that. That is less exciting than maybe one could have hoped for. But these are also a pair, which is maybe exciting. They're a 1-6 pair. So this number, which is at least a 3, is not 4, 5, or 6. So this is either 3 or it's from 7, 8, 9. Interesting. I'm trying to decide if that will like break the snake in some way, but I haven't decided yet. Let's see. What is this? It could be 3 or 5, but not 5. So it could be 3, 2, or 8, but it can't be 2 actually, because there's a 2 in the column up there. So I think that means it's only 3 or 8. If I look at that, let's see. What is left in this column over here? Actually, these are 2, 7, 8, and 9. see. If this was an 8... this just can't be an 8. Because if this were an 8... Oh, no, if this were an 8, this would have to be a 4. Sorry, there is an option. So this actually doesn't have many options. If this is an 8, then this is a 4. If this is a 3, then this could be a 2, a 4, or a 6, but there's a 6 in the column too. So this is always 2 or 4, regardless of the fate of the world, as they say. And yeah, I agree this is never 7 or 8. Which is a good point that I had not originally appreciated. If this is 8, let's do that one first. Then that would say this is snake. That doesn't work. And if this is 7, now I have a snake that touches itself as it squirms its way into this corner. Gotta hit snakes. Okay, so this is, if I write in what the possibilities are, it's actually never 7 or 8, and it's not 1 or 2 either. So this is either 3 or 9, actually, which is funny. One of these is always 3, because I need a 3 in the column somewhere. In particular, the 7 in this box, this is probably not going to be helpful. The 7 in this box is over here, so that's not a 7. I feel like the more satisfying option is that it's a 3. But I'm not sure yet. Let's see. 4 is placed in box 5. It is good. Let's see. These are 1, 7, and 2. Oh, actually, that's the 2, if I just look at it, because that's got a 2-3 pair looking at it. So we can do the 3, 2, 3, and this is the other 1 or 7 over there. Okay, so this 3 is connecting to a 6, actually, because of that 2. So one of these 2 cells is a 6. I didn't know which one, and Sven doesn't either, but whichever one is next, it's a 6. Yep, sure is. Let's see. I can fill these in just in case. Oh, that's an 8 just by Sudoku, right? No, there's already an 8 in the box. Never mind. Sorry. I'm going to actually fill these in rather than accidentally saying the wrong thing. Okay. This cell, Ron points out, is quite constrained, just even marker-wise, because it sees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it sees 8 and 9. So this can only ever be 6 or 7. And so if both of these are blue, this could be 6. I was trying to think if this cell had to be blue because of that, but I don't think it quite does yet. Let's see, 3 over there or something. Yeah, if the green comes here, then this has to go down for like multiple reasons. It actually has to go down, down because of that. Let's see, Selena says that after this 6, we have a 7. So does that mean this is never green? I think that does mean this is never green. Because if this cell were green, I would have the snake doing this. And so this would be a 6. And then what would this be? It could not be a 3 or a 5. And it couldn't be a 7 because then I'd have a 6, 7 looking at this. So this is actually never snake, bizarrely enough. Incredibly bizarre, but great spot to Selena, as always. whatever it is that we could do with it. Let's see. 5 is quite restricted in here, I suppose. Let's see. So if this is green, then I end up with my loop looking basically like this. I was trying to decide if that was a problem. I don't immediately think it's a problem, but maybe it is in some more convoluted way. Box 5 has a 2-3 pair. Yes, it does. So just to explain that, if I look at 2 and 3, they rule 2 and 3 out of these cells, but also the 2, 3 there rules it out of this. So the only two places I can put a 2 and 3 here, this is Emma's point, are here, which is very nice because now I ask where 5 goes in this box, and it is there. I guess we could have seen that as a hidden triple and then resolved it as well, which if you are doing the New York Times hard, that would be the step that you would need to see, is that this is a hidden triple sort of forced there is their favorite trick. So that works out. So now this isn't green because 2 and 3 don't go next to 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it's currently at 6. So it only gets one more at most, or 0 more. So if it gets 0 more, then it looks like that, and the loop can go either that way or that way and finish. Let's see. This cell can't be snake anymore for the funny reason that if this was snake, this would be snake. And this cell definitely can't be 4 or 6 because the 6 is corner marked here. So this can't be loop either while we are doing the this can't be loop game. Oh, now the 6 in this box is in row 5. So that's helpful. Because we just can't put 6 anywhere else. So the 6 looks at that cell. So that's not loop, because remember we said the next cell was a 6. Okay, and so now this is a 7. Because 7 was the biggest number it could be, and now that's green and that's green, which now means this is a 9. Looking across the bottom here. And that's going to give us a bunch of stuff, like a 1 and a 7, and a green, and a blue and a green. And the rest of this is blue, regardless of how the rest of this sort of shakes out. So these seem to be a 1, 8, which makes that a 3. I guess I knew one of these was a 3, so it all works out. Okay. I really like this one. Okay, let's see. These are from 2, 3, 5, 6. So this one, oh no, this one could be a 6, darn it. Coffee Bean, there's a plugin that someone named Chameleon made. Chameleon makes lots of weird sort of YouTube editions, or sorry, Sudoku things. And one of them is a button which fills in the candidates in a cell. And when that happens, Mark from Cracking the Cryptic pops up from the bottom. To celebrate the occasion. 5 is definitely in one of these cells. If 5 is there, that's a 6. And that's a 4. Okay, I think I know what this digit is. At least I know it's a 6 or 8, because I know that the digit coming from here is a 7, right? So there's a 6, a 7 in one of these two cells. I don't know which. But then after the 7, then we get a 6 or 8 again. And now, actually, it's probably worth marking that this column, we know all of these numbers are huge, and this one's not a 7 or a 9, actually. So 6 or 8 never goes next to 6 or 8. It is worth noting. And 9 can't go here because 9 would only go next to 8 on both sides. So this is a 7. Okay, and 7 doesn't go next to 2 or 3. It only goes next to 6. So we get all of that. Hey, Dorlier, how are you doing? So no 6 there. 6 doesn't go next to 2, fun fact. So that's a 5. 5 doesn't go next to 2 either. So that's a 4. And so let's see. That seems to be an 8 and a 9 and a 6. And so we've got our 5 over here. Let's see. That is a naked single. I don't know what it is yet. It's an 8. Making that a 1 and an 8 and a 9. And so now that number is now a naked 7, which doesn't quite finish the snake unless I notice that this digit can't be a 7, which would have been this thing I should have noticed first when Nicholas made the point, but I did not notice it. I instead noticed that this digit now is forced to be 7. But that digit can't be 7 would have been a much easier observation. So that is a 7 and an 8. And then we have looped the loop. Okay, so now we just have to fill in some miscellaneous other digits. So that is a 9 and a 5 and a 1 and a 2 and a 9 and a 2 and a 5. And now we can, as Selena says, hit the button and fill in the rest of it. I can see a bird. I believe that. 27539, 321. 646123. Very nice. I liked that one a lot. I can see, yeah. I think like a farm chicken or something. I can see here. Like this is the tail of the chicken. I think could also see it as a squirrel. These are like the feet of the squirrel, and this is the tail of the squirrel. Yeah, I was not expecting a loop shaped like a thing, but here we go. Yep. Alrighty, let me take a quick break to stretch, and I'll be back with more puzzle time. So see you all in just a moment. Welcome back. Selena asked in chat if anyone has any setters whose puzzles they don't do because they don't like their setting style. I'd say for me, certainly there are setters whose styles I tend to like less, so I tend to do their puzzles less. Although I'd say most setters who are fairly prolific have some amount of breadth when it comes to style, and so what'll sometimes happen is that someone will say, oh, hey, you might really like this puzzle by blank. And then I might do that one and say like, oh yeah, that one was really good. There probably aren't any setters who are prolific where there's probably like no puzzles that I would like. But if I'm sort of going blind, then there's definitely setters that I will do most puzzles by, and setters where I will not do it unless I see a good reason why. And a lot of the time, it's because I acknowledge this person is a good setter who's meeting their own goals, but their goals don't align with mine. The setters who I'd say I most tend to avoid are setters I really respect and think do their things really well, but where it's sort of like, okay, yeah, I probably don't want to do the that kind of puzzle most of the time. Ken has been a member for 28 months. Let's get you a dance. Ba-doop-ba-doop, woohoo! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wah-ha! Ba-doop-ba-doop, wee-hee! Ba-doop-ba-doop, 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 wah-ha! Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Ken. Thank you. Alrighty. So let us do this invisible Renbon puzzle by Clash Code. Let's see. We have to shade some cells in the grid and place digits from 1 to 9 at each unshaded cell. This is always an adventure in Japanese sums puzzles, is whether it's the shaded cells or the unshaded cells that get digits. In this case, it's technically the unshaded cells that get digits. Clues outside the grid show the sum of digits in contiguous unshaded cells in their respective row or column in order from left top to right bottom. All unshaded cells must be orthogonally connected. Shaded cells must connect orthogonally to the edge of the grid. And we have this invisible Renbon rule that each row or column must be a set of consecutive digits in any order. Alrighty. My puzzles have too many bombs and not enough fives. Man, you put 3 bombs in one puzzle and suddenly you're the puzzle bomber. Row 2 subs to 45. So by the Renbon rule, we know which digits it is. What is the dimensions of this, by the way? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. It is true. These numbers sum to 45, which means I need all 9 digits in this row, as some well-known streamers will tell you, which means that these cells actually need to be unshaded. In fact, actually, if you look at these, because the only cell that's not the only shaded cell, the wall cell, if I'm keeping track of this, must be the one that separates them. Yeah, this has been 4 digits actually. Yeah. Okay. Okay. From just this 18, I actually also get that this is unshaded because of that. And now it's being pointed out that if I actually am willing to look at other places, there's actually other places where the same logic is true. So, for example, in column 3, 36 plus 9 is also 45, and I think there's also 10 rows, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are. So the same logic applies. And 36 is actually at least 6 cells in total, right? Because even 5 through 9 only sum to 35. So we've got 6 cells there. And I think I was told there's one other one. Oh, this one, this column. Welcome back, Shroomy. Column 9 here, same deal. So we get to do the same thing. We again get to do that, and now that as well. Oh, also row 10, very fancy. Okay, so we get to do that, which is going to give me that, and in fact, those two. So we get all kinds of cells here, which is generous. Let's see, what is the sum of these cells? The sum of these cells, I'm just noticing the sum of these cells is 21, and 2 is one of them. So these have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you look at this row. So there's no 7, 8, or 9 in this row. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that. And for what it's worth, the 2 isn't over there. But that's because of the Renban rule. There's a 2 in it, and the sum is 21, so we can figure out exactly what it has to be. That does make the 12 3 cells, right? Because you can't do 12 in 2 cells. Very good. Thank you, Sweet Blues. Okay. So this is also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The digits in row 1, very nice, Josh. Yeah, the dimensions of these, sometimes I just assume I know what the dimensions are, and it turns out they're not correct. That has happened to me before as well. Okay, 17, 27, 37. I got 46 is the sum of these numbers, but I don't think it's right. Let's see. Those two sum to 29, 36. Okay, the sum of these is 36. So it's at least 6 digits. 6 digits and 2 gaps. Yes, this can't be 22. So I have to go up at least that far for purposes of that. Oh, because the sum is 36, I missed digits that sum to 9. 1, 2, 3 are not digits that sum to 9 like they were in my head. So yeah, so you can start taking off at either end. If you take off 9, of course it works. If you take off 1, 2, 3, it doesn't work yet, and then you take off 4, and then you've gone too far. So oops. So yeah, so I agree. So this row needs every digit except 9, which I'll go ahead and fill in. But it then has 2 gaps, so that again means that we need to fill in the ends. And in fact, this cell must be filled as well, because you can't do 10 in 1. Okay. I guess, actually, if this is blue, then that's immediately gray. I have to do 7 in, that's helpful as well. I think that might actually do it. If this is blue, I don't think it works. Because if this is blue, then that's got to be gray, because these are 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got to do 7 in 1, but now your 7 goes here, and it's in a column that starts with a 5 clue, so that doesn't work. So that is gray. That is blue. Of a 3-cell sum to 10, so it doesn't have an 8 in it for what it's worth. Okay. Let's see. 11 is certainly at least 2 cells. So we can do that. In fact, this number is at most 7 even. So yeah, so we could do that as at least 4. I mean, this can just be a 7, I think. In which case that would be gray, and then that would work out over there. Yes, this ends with a 5 clue. Very good. That 5 clue is definitely not 3 cells, famously. And these are certainly from 1, 2, 3, 4. And now that, I think, pushes my 22 up. Yes, that pushes my 22 up an extra cell. Because now the maximum these can sum to is 21, conveniently. So that's blue. And now this is a 10 clue, so that's blue. Yes. The row sums to 20, so there can't be a 1. Very nice. Because if you have a 1 on your Renbon, then you've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is still only sums to 15. 6, oops, I've gone too far. So instead, actually, the numbers in this row are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 15 here is a 4, 5, 6. Which I don't quite know anything about exactly where it goes, but those are the digits that are in it, or 4, 5, and 6. This 17 is certainly at least 2 cells. So this is part of the 4, 5, 6, and so this needs to go up at least 1 more because 4, 5, 6 is not an 8 or a 9, and so these are both gray because of the fact that we know it's a 3-cell sum. Okay. And that gives us some digits, because now these two are known to be 6 and 5, or orange and purple, as the case may be. 6 and 5. Let us bring out Zach for the 6y dance. Boop boop ba doop. Whoop 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 whoop. Boop boop ba doop. Whoop 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 whoop. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. So that is handy. Okay, so this can't be a 2-cell sum if it's 6, 6 or 5, 7. Let's see, the sum of these is 28. Sadly, the way this imported, I can't cross out clues, Nicholas. I do usually like to do that. This 6 is either 1, 2, 3 if it goes down 1, or isn't. Yes, this is a 2 by the clue, thank you, because we need 1 or more digits that sum to 2, but you have a hard time doing the or more part. And that actually finishes where this 4, 5, 6 is. Very good spot. Okay. So now this is a 9. Yes. Japanese sums puzzles stream great because there's so many different clues to look at, and it really helps having everyone scanning it at once. It makes you find things a lot faster. Yes, this column ends with 17, and when you know that one of them is a 2 or a 3, you probably can't do that in 1. Good. If this is blue, it's a 3 for what it's worth. Actually, does that break? Can I do a sum to 12 with a 3 here? I don't think I can, because that would mean I'd need a 2-cell sum to 9. Oh, it would be 1, 8. 1, 8 would work. So if this is blue, it's a 3, and then these are a 1, 8 is the only option. Yes. Now this is a 5 clue, so now we've got to do that. Again, to stop the 5 clue from getting out of hand. In fact, actually, this 18 clue is at most 5 cells in size, so these are definitely gray. Because I've got an... Oh, sorry, that's not true. That's only true if this is a 3. Sorry, don't listen to me. Yes, the old checkerboard trick. If this is blue, let me show you what happens. If this is blue, now this has got to be gray. And now that has created a checkerboard, and so you always have to ask yourself, is that really a problem if we have checkerboarding? And the answer is yes, because all the blue has to be connected, and so this blue is going to connect over to this blue somehow. And the point is, no matter how this blue connects to this blue, it's always going to isolate this from doing the thing it needs to, which is to get to the wall. That's the cave portion of this, is that the shaded cells must orthogonally connect to the edge of the grid. So actually, that applies anywhere. So in any cave puzzle, you can't have a checkerboard ever. And so because we can't have a checkerboard here, that means that this can't be... unshaded at all. So in fact, this is shaded. And so these are 4, 8, because they're not 5, 7, or 3, 9, I believe. And the rest of this is blue because of the sum to 45 thing. And then these are a 1, let's see, 2, we still need a 3, 4, 5, 6, and we still need a 7. 1, 3, and 7. Right. This column we knew had only 1 gray cell, so we know those are blue. Let's see. This must be unshaded. I'm guessing this is the cell that Nicholas is referencing, because there's only 2 contiguous groups, and that's one of them. So I can't separate those 2. And my sum to 23 could very well be 5 cells long, actually, because it's possible that this is the digits 1 through 7 exactly. Are there any other possibilities other than that it's the sum of 1 through 7 exactly? I don't think so. I think that's the only possibility, actually. Which is a little upsetting. I mean, I do know this is a 1-4 pair by uniqueness, for what it's worth. This is part of an 11 sum, so it's certainly at least 2 cells long. Row 7, column 8. That's this one. Is blue for the column clue. If this is gray, then... right. This needs to be the set of the digits from 1 to 6, right? Yeah, I think this needs to be the set of the digits 1 through 6 in order to get to my sum of 21. And if I'm going to take my set of the digits 1 through 6, then I think it needs to go... right. There's 2 options. It could either be a 1, 2, and then everything else. or it could be a 3 and then everything else. But the point is, between these cells, I need 6 digits in a gap. So this is always here, and this is always a 1, 2, or 3. If this is blue, then it makes these a 5, 6, funnily enough. And then the rest of the row is done. Which seems, I mean, I guess it's possible. I don't see any reason why that couldn't be the case. Let's see. This is an 11. One of these is gray. It's that one, then that's a 5, of course. Right. There's only one more blue in this entire row, is Emma's point, because the sum is 21. So there's at most 6 cells. In fact, there's going to be exactly 6 cells. So those are both shaded for sure. If this is blue, it's a 9. Oh, of course there's not a 9 in this column. The sum of the digits in this column is 21. And so if you look at it, you can't have a sum of 21 that involves a 9, because just try it. 9, 9, 8, 9, 8, 7. None of these work, and you've already gone too far. So the 9 is at least 2 cells, actually. So we've got that. 9 in row 2 is placed. How can that possibly be the case? I'm not saying that you're wrong. It certainly doesn't go there. Can't go there. Yeah. Okay. Good. We're making it. Could go there. I think can't go there. Could this go 9, 2? Oh, right. There's already a 9 here. Okay, so maybe it has to go 9, 2. Can't go there. What's wrong with this being a 9? Oh, it's because of the whole, yeah, right. So the point is, like, as soon as you have a 9, then remembering that it's a renbon, you have to be really careful about what your total is. And so in particular, you never get to 28, and you never get to 21. You still don't get to 28. You still don't get to 21. This seems to not be able to be a 9 for some reason. Wait, does row 1 have a 9? Isn't row 1 everything but 9? Oh, sorry, row 2. Sorry, row 2. Right, sorry. Row 2 has a 9. And yeah, it has to go in not there, not there, not there, because there already is 1. This column sums to 21. This column sums to 28. This column sums to 21. 28, 21. So yeah, I think it does have to go here, because that one sums to 45, and this one sums to 35. No, it could be in the 35 column, right? It's in one of these two, I think. Because this could be everything except 1 through 4. Oh, but it can't be everything but 1 through 4, because we know there's a 2 or a 3 in it. So yeah, I think I do believe that this has to be a 9. Oh, it could have everything but... Oh, yeah, it could have everything but 1 and 9, but that still doesn't have a 9 in it. It is a weird spot, but it is a digit. I agree. Digits are good. Let's see. It's being claimed this can't be 1, 2, 3, 5. What's wrong with it being 1, 2, 3, 5? I don't quite see what is wrong with that. This column 6. Column 6 sums to 21. And so Nicholas's claim is that means there's no 7 in it. I think that's true. I keep trying to verify these claims in my head, and that one's a little trickier to verify. Let's see, but yeah, 7, 8. Yeah, the 7, 8 is not going to work. No, 6, 7, 8 could work, but it's not 6, 7, 8 because of this. Yeah, the only way with a 7 is 6, 7, 8. Yep, that's what I get. So this is not a 7. Agree. And now these two can't sum to 11, so this is blue. And is actually, I guess, at most 6, but I already knew that by the column. Needs one more, Nicholas, right? Right. Okay, yeah. So Martin points out this digit can't be 5 because I have 2 sums to 5 above it, and one of them needs to be a single 5 because I don't use this digit. The only way that these work is 7, 4 without this being also blue. Which would be nice, because if that's also blue, then that's also blue. Actually, does that break? If this is blue, then by no checkerboard, that's also blue. Can this really be a 4 cell 11 sum? It would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 5. Is there some reason this can't be 1, 2, 3, 5? I don't think so. I mean, the digits in this column could just be 1 through 7, right, Nicholas? Okay, so we're saying that there are a total of 6 blues in this column, and therefore there's 4 grays in the column, and we know where 3 of them are, and the other one is a divider between the 6 and the 9, so therefore this is blue, and this is also blue, and one of these is the divider, and so these are both blue because those are both double-digit sums. That was Matt Laffey's point. Okay. Oh, now the point is now look at column 2. And so, so there's a 6 segment up here somewhere. I don't have room to have a segment before the 4 segment in this column, after the 6 and before the 4. So this has to be a 4. Wow, okay, so that means these are both gray. And that means that this 6 segment has to be 2, 4. And then this has to be a 6, just straight up 6. Okay. There's not an 8 in this column, so this can't be gray. So this can't be blue, because it would be an 8, and these digits are 1 through 6. So we can at least do that. There is an 8 in this column, though. Oh, right. We've now got all of our digits in this column. Or sorry, in this row, right? We knew there were going to be 7 total digits. We've got all 7 digits. We have to avoid this checkerboard. Good spot. Oh, this is an 11 sum now, by the way. So that has to be 4 and 7 is the only way that works, which makes this a 6 and a 5. Oh, right. There need to be 6 cells to make the Renbon. So that cell is blue. So this is a 3-cell 9 sum. That could be 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 5. Those are the 2 options. There's definitely a 3 in it, for what it's worth. I think uniqueness tells us this has to be 1, 5, but I don't swear that's the case. Maybe not. Maybe not because of the rows. This seems to be a 2, is being alleged. And if that's a 2, then these 2 need to sum to 7, and they need to be 3, 4, which makes these 2, 1, 5. Okay, so if this is exactly a 5, 4, 8, then we get that. See, I mean, I guess the sum of all of these cells is 12, for what it's worth. And I guess I know, never mind. Row 8, column 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, yes. Okay, yes. So this is either 6, 1, and 4, or 6, 3, and 2. Yes, okay, agree. Hey, Gurabon, how are you doing? All right, this row needs an additional unshaded because it needs to be 1 through 6. Does this have to be 17 and 5, or is there another way to do 28? I'm not 100% sure. If this needs to be 28 and 7, then I know more stuff, but I don't know that it does. Oh, on vacation. Oh, that's great. Okay, so this has at most 7 shaded cells. And so, in fact, has exactly 7 shaded cells. And so those 2, or sorry, exactly 7 unshaded cells. So those 2 could be unshaded, but these can never be unshaded. I have marked that this can't be a 7. Is that real or fake? Why did I think this can't be a 7? Yes, it can't be a 7 because this row contains the digits from 1 to 6. And so if this can't be a 7, then yes, this does need to be blue. Okay, so I was correct about that. Okay, and it's not a 5 either. And so there's one more sum in the row, and it's this one, so this is always gray, actually. For whatever that amounts to. We know there's a 5 sum between these two, for what it's worth. Can't be blue. I don't think I see immediately why this can't be blue. 3 column 4. Is blue? Why can't this be blue? Sorry, why does this have to be blue? Oh, because the row sums to 21 and can't be. Do I know it's not 6, 7, 8? I feel like the row could be 6, 7, 8. Row 1, column 3 is odd. I agree with that. So it is not 2, 4, or 6. Okay, let's see. This column definitely has 6 blues because it sums to 21 and has a 2 in it. So it needs 2 more blues. And the point is I need that to be blue just in order to get to that extra blue. And then one of these two is the last blue. Or that one, sorry. One of those 3 is the last blue. Wait, is that even true? Sorry. Can't I make that blue? No. Okay, yeah, right. If I make that gray, then I effectively make both of these gray, and then I don't. Yeah, right. Okay, yep. I see it now. Column 7. These can't be 8, 9 because the column sums to 28, right? So the column only has the numbers from 1 through 7. So that is blue. For sure. Yeah, so the 2 ways to get this column to work are 2 through 8 and 5 through 9, but it's not 5 through 9, so we need 7 blue cells. Right, and so we only get 1 more blue cell in the column. I mean, I guess even just by the fact that the column sums to 35, even with no other information about Renbon stuff, I think we know that it has at most 7 blue cells in it. And so those are both gray. And this row now needs an extra blue cell because this is 1 through 6. Over there. This cave section has to escape through this cell, I believe. Oh, it could do that exactly. It has to escape through one of these two cells because it can't escape up here. I think it breaks the 5. And it needs to get to the wall. Okay, the 28 can't have an 8 in it because if I do 7 and 8, I certainly can't do 7, 8, and 9. But 7, 8, 6 is 21. 5, yeah. Sorry, 7, 8, 6 is 21, and 5 is 26. Yeah, that doesn't work. So I agree. I need to use all the digits from 1 through 7. And so this is blue. 6 is placed in column 4. I think this now just has to be gray, right? If this is blue, then I just can't get to this cave or this wall to the border, right? Because yeah, that's true. Yeah, if this is blue, now this needs to connect up like this, and the only way it does it is to do that. But now I can't get my clues in this column, so I think this is always gray. Just for connection purposes. And I think this has to be blue now, because if that's gray, I can't put 2 single cell 5s there either. So that's 5, and now that's gray, because again, it has to connect, or again, you have to avoid a checkerboard. Take your pick on which of those you would like. This is a 2 cell 5, so that's always blue. As part of the 2 cell 5, which then makes that gray. For that. This becomes blue because I need to avoid a checkerboard again, or because I need to connect this blue to that blue, whichever way you want to think about it. Let's see. This can't be blue because then this row only has 1 sum in it, so that's gray. There are at most 6 cells in this row, so that one's gray as well. At most 6 numbers, I should say, I suppose. Now that's become blue again because of this. So this is also 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, yes, this needs to be gray because we need to break up these sums. So this is a 2 cell sum to 7. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this is 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not a 5, so that's not a 2 for what it's worth. Okay, column 10, remember we said needs 7 blue cells, right? So that's blue. This column needs 7 blue cells, so that's blue. And there's only 2 here, so only 2 contiguous strings. So this is all blue, but now that's gray because this sum now sums to 20, or this row now has 7 things in it. 7 is the maximum for 28. This is now always gray for lots of reasons, one of which is that the column had better get split up, but I saw it from the row. This column needs 6 digits in it, and so that's the 6th one. This row has its digits, and so that's that. And so now we can fill in the 11, and it's 5, 6. So we can fill in that these are definitely 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a 2 for what it is worth. Let's see, this needs to get to 13. I guess technically this can still be a 1. No, it can't. If this can't be a 3, because if this is a 3, it would be 3, 1, and it would need a 9, but there's already a 9 in the column. So that's always a 4, and that's a 3, which makes that a 1 and a 3, makes that a 4 and a 2. Going up there. These sum to 7, so this needs to be a 6. I'm told there's an 8 clue somewhere, which is very nice. Oh, it's this 8 clue, which probably doesn't have a 6 in it. In fact, it's 1, 3, 4. Which makes these a 5, 6 pair. Hopefully they sum to 11. They do. Okay, that is a 5 and a 6. Over there. Okay, so there's a 5 in my sum to 10 for what it's worth. One of these two is a 5, in other words. Hey, Nell, how are you doing? There's a virtual 2, 4 pair in this row. So I guess that means that these cells are not 2 or 4, so they're odd, and they're 1, 3, or 7. That's because one of these two is a 2, 4, and that's a 2, 4, so I can't use any more 2, 4s. Okay. This can't be a 1 or a 3, because if this is a 1 or a 3, then these digits sum to 9, and that needs to be an 8, but 8 plus 6 is more than 11. So this has to be a 7, is what I just proved. And so that 7, 5 there tells me that these two digits need to sum to 5 as well. So this is a 2, 4. And so this is either a 1 or a 3, actually, if you look at it, which gives me a 1, 3 pair here, which seems to make that a 4, which makes that a 3 and a 1, like that. So we get that 1, 4, 6 stuff happening. This isn't 1 or 3 either. So this is 5 or 7. Wow, are all the possibilities somehow still possible? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 is what these digits are. This is the 17 that chat was talking about. The maximum I can make this is 17 is 5, 4, and 8, so I have to do that. Which makes this 1, 2, and 7. A good spot. Not a 1, not a 4. So this needs to be a 3, 4 pair in order to add to 7. To make that work. This is certainly a 1, 2 if you look at the 3 clues. So that's not a 1. Okay. There's a 1 or a 2 over here because these two sum to 5. So these numbers are from 3, 4, 5. This is a 2 by virtue of summing to 8. which makes that a 4 and a 1. Makes that a 3, and I've got to double check this math. 9, 14, 21, 23. Is that a 2? Like that. So that was indeed 2, 3, 5. Everyone's favorite 3-cell 10-sum, I'm sure. Okay, this is a 6, just to make that work out. These I should probably fill in are a 3, 4, 6, which makes that a -3, apparently. These sum to 9, so these 3 need to sum to 8, which makes them 1, 2, 5. And so in that one is a 2, that one is a 5, and that one is a 1, to sort of fill that out. These are the only 2 things they can be, which are 3 and 7. But this can't be 3 because it's part of a 13 clue, so it's a 7 with a 6. Makes that a 3. Seems like 5, 8 are these 2 digits. That are left. These 2 sum to at most 11. Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, most 11. So this needs to be an 8, or this doesn't work. Because these sum to at most 11, 20, so this needs to be at least an 8. So it is an 8. And then that sort of unravels all of that. Like that. Okay, the last 2 cells here are, one of them's a 2, and the other one's a 7. Let's see, the last 2 cells here are a 1 and a 4. Like that. Woo, boy, that was entertaining. I love Japanese sums puzzles, really. They always feel so organic, with sort of watching the way the grid sort of naturally flows into various other pieces of the grid. And a nice looking cave at the end as well. I like this sort of extended wall structure. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll be back with another puzzle in just a moment. So see you all shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have this arrow puzzle by Fuchsia, which I suspect might possibly be a coloring puzzle. So the way that these work is that the circle is the sum of all of the digits along each spoke of the arrow. So all of these digits sum to this. And so the reason I think this is a coloring puzzle is because I know that this yellow digit has to go here, because if yellow was here, I would need to put a 0. And so likewise, this green digit needs to go here. Also, we can say quite a lot about what these numbers have to be, because if you look at these numbers, they sum to a minimum of 15, plus 1 is 16. So keep in mind, this is double green, but this is saying double green is at least 16, which says that green is at least 8. But yellow, therefore, is also at least 8 by the same exact logic. So these are actually an 8-9 pair. And this is just given to go here, whatever here is. So blue, we can also sort of add over there. Now, we know that both of these things need a 1, because I know the sum of this can't be 9 because there's one more cell to go. And in fact, actually, we also know that these are from 1, 2, 3 because the fact that these sum to at least 6. So this can't be more than 3 without sort of breaking the bank. Okay. Yes. Okay, that's very good. Yes. So Garion points out this cell is actually very interesting because it sees an 8-9 pair in these two cells. So it's not 8 or 9, because keep in mind, these are two different 8-9s. So this is as good as seeing an 8-9 pair in the row. And so this number is at most 7, but it's also at least 7 because it can get made in 3 different ways that don't repeat digits. So in fact, this is a 7. And we get to bring out Giant Zach can do the 7 dance. He has learned, at least mostly. Woohoo! Thank you, Giant Zach. Thank you. So that's a 7. These are an 8-9 pair, although I don't know which is blue and which is green yet. Or sorry, which is green and which is yellow yet. Oh, link to the puzzle. I bet I can dig that up for you. 1 second. I suspect Tristan is asleep, but I can copy it and perhaps paste it. I seem to have pasted it. Let me pin that. Okay, that is a very nice opening. I really like that use of the green-yellow pair. So the 7 is certainly in one of these places. Can the 7 really go on here with a 1 or a 2? Well, it certainly can't go with a 1. Can this be 2-7? I think it can just be 2-7. Because I think if this is 2-7, 1, 3, 4, 1, I think that works out. But this blue, keep in mind, I know the blue goes down here. I didn't actually mark that by Sudoku. Blue is not green, so blue goes on here. So the only way that 7 goes on this arrow is if 7 is in fact actually blue. The box 5 arrow needs a 1. Oh, this, by the way, this I should just say, this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let's see. Am I doing some sort of shenanigans if I want to say this needs a 1? No, I'm just doing Sudoku. Right. There is Sudoku, as Math Pesto points out, where and I think others have seen this, that 1 is placed onto this arrow here. So we have like a weird Kropki dot between blue and the digit that goes with the 1 on this arrow. Let's see. This digit could well be blue, at least as far as I'm able to immediately determine. It certainly goes in this row, though, so it certainly goes up here somewhere. I'm wondering if I'm supposed to color the 3 ways to make a sum to 7. But I can't quite see what to do with it yet. Maybe somehow if I color the 3 ways to make a sum to 7, I can make clear this isn't one of them, or this is one of them. Oh, Mekti pointed out 8, 9 in column 4, right. 8, 9 in column 4 definitely go here. That is a very good spot. Because I can't repeat 8, 9 in box 5, and I can't put an 8 or a 9 on a length 4 arrow. That is going to be a rather big problem. So these are 8, 9. Let's see. And for that matter, 6 and 7 can actually, because I can't go as high as 6 on these. I might as well mark that these are only from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the 7. Oh, sorry, that could be the 7. Sorry. But like this is at most 6. Let's see. This 1, 2, 3 here means this arrow can't sum to 3. It could sum to 4 or more. I guess there's a question of where the other 8, 9 in this row is that is kind of interesting. Because there's only 2 places I think it can go, or 3 places it can go, but they're all kind of interesting. Let's see. Okay. Garian has a very smart point, which is it possible the only digit that these 6 cells that I've highlighted in red have in common is 1? And the answer is no, because if that were the case, then they would be 2 1s and then a 2, 3, 4, and 5, which would sum to 16, 17, 18. And that would be too much. So they do have an additional digit in common. And so that digit is the other digit that goes here. Now, do I know it's not like 1, 2, 5 and 1, 3, 5, and that 5 is the common digit, Garian? Or sorry, 1, 2, 4 and 1, 3, 4. 5 can't be the common digit. I just realized, because if 5 is the common digit, I think that runs into problems. So yeah, so max for blue is, yeah, so these have a common digit of 1, 2, 3, or 4, because 5 doesn't work. If I minimize this with a 5, then they each minimize to 8, which would mean they'd both be 9, which doesn't work. So the biggest they could possibly be is 4, which means this digit's at most 5. And so it is 3, 4, or 5, based on what digit this is. So 7 isn't blue anymore is a good point, right? So yeah, I certainly am not putting the 7 here, is MathBest's point, because it would be a 7 plus 3, 4, or 5. That's not going to work. So now the 7 I know I can corner mark there in this box. This digit now can't be that digit either. So this digit is either 8, 9, or it's this digit. Those are the two options. 7 in column 4, actually, Nicholas points out, is definitely here now. In one of those two cells. So there's a 7 over in one of these two cells. Okay, and so now where are 7, 8, 9 in row 4? Wow. This is a really well put together grid. Because, yeah, 7, 8, 9 in row 4 now are forced here. And, of course, this one's not a 9. So this is an 8 or a 9, and this is a 1 or a 2. And in fact, this digit is that digit, if you look at it, because this digit has to show up in the triple, and there's no way it shows up in the triple anywhere but there. So these two are the same digit, but I don't know which of yellow and green it is, I don't think. And then this is the same. So I can, like, note these are all the same digit. I'll ketchup them just to keep track of that. So Matt Laffey now says, okay, so now where does 6 go in row 4? And so now 6 in row 4 goes over here. And so now where does 6 go in column 4? And the 6 in column 4 goes here, which is going to be very helpful. Wow, this puzzle really is impressing me. Okay, so that's a 9 because these are 1, 2, and all of these are 8s. So we've got that. So we can get rid of red now. And we can place the 1 on this diagonal. And we can sort out the 2 and the 1 up here. Let's see. The 1 in here goes in one of these two places for what it is worth. No, sorry. I was going to say something silly. Okay. So now let's highlight all the cells that cannot be 8 or 9 in column 7, MacD points out. So these can't be 8 or 9 by sudoku. This can't be 8 or 9 for the somewhat more complicated reason that if this was 8, it would make this 9, but this circle can't be 9 by sudoku. So none of those are 8 or 9. This cell sees yellow and green, so it cannot be 8, 9. And these two cells see an 8, 9 pair, so they can't be 8, 9. So the only spot that can be 8, 9 is this. So this cell is green, which makes this cell yellow and this cell green. And so now yellow goes here because yellow has to go somewhere, and green goes there because green has to go somewhere. So these are an 8, 9 pair. And we know this number is at least 4, because again, if this were a 3, it would be 1, 2, 3, and it would break that cell. So this is 4, 5, 6, or 7. Those are the only options for this circle, which is, I guess, more options than maybe would reasonably be pencil marked by a human, but what can you do? Green in row 8, Nicholas points out, is also placed because I also have my 8989 looking down, so that cell is green. So I've got my green over there as well. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So this circle, yeah. So none of this is yellow, and that can't be yellow either, is Nicholas's point, because if that were yellow, it would make this an 8 or a 9, which it can't be. So yellow, in fact, is placed here in this box. So again, this is also 4, 5, 6, or 7. Same reason as the other one. Places the 7. I do realize 7 in row 1 is in one of these two places. I'll just go ahead and mark for my sanity. One last yellow. Oh, in box 8. Yes. Yellow can't go here because there's a 1 in the column. Got it. If yellow went here, then I'd need a 1. So the yellow actually goes there. Got it. Okay, so this is the yellow 8, 9, which means that this is actually the 7. Got it. Got it. So that's not a 7 either. And so now when I ask where 7 is in this row, it's now placed here. Oh, it also can't be there because there's a yellow in the column. Okay, fair point, fair point. That is a less sophisticated way to do that. That 7 does look up. You're right. Sleep well, Daniel. Let's see. So these are from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I suppose I could say. Let's see. Can I say anything more about blue or something? I'm not quite sure yet. I mean, I guess this digit only has 2 possibilities, right? I could do math. No, not quite. Sorry, because of that piece of stuff. Never mind. I was thinking I could just do math on the 45 thing, but I can't quite just do math on the 45 thing. Yeah, 1 in box 1 is in one of these 2 cells. Didn't I find something else was in one of those 2 cells? Maybe I am hallucinating that. Yeah, I am not sure. It'd be nice if 2 was also in one of those cells or something. Let's see. Do I know that this can't be 7 for some reason? I don't think so. I can't actually put a 7 on this arrow. Oh, no. Sorry, never mind. Maybe I can. Sorry. It could be 7, 2, 1, 3, 4, 1. Never mind. That would work. Darn. wait, this cell can't be 1 because one of these has to be 1. Wow, that's gorgeous. Okay, so Todd's point is one of these numbers actually is 8. And for that one, we know that the sum of all of these digits is 16. But these sum to at least 15. So that one has to be a 1. So one of these two cells is definitely a 1. So that's not a 1, and that is a 1, which is sweet. It has to do something, right? Right. It does place a 1 here now. Note, I don't know they're not both 1s, so I have not yet completely solved the mystery. Yeah, so this isn't 1, 6. So this is 2, 5 or 3, 4. Same as that cell, actually. Yes, this can't have a 4 on it anymore because the 1 in the box is there. So now this is a 5 or a 6. And we need a 2, because if we don't use a 2, we're not getting there. Or we're getting too far. So there's definitely a 2 here. And it's 2, 3 or 2, 4. So the other 5, 6 is in this column, along with the other 2, 3, I guess. Sorry, the other 3, 4, I should say. I keep trying to say, like, why one of these can't be 1, 6, but I can't tell you why one of these can't be 1, 6, unfortunately, but I keep thinking that's what I'm supposed to do. Three column 8 can't be 4 anymore. Because neither of these cells can be 1. And so, these are from 2, 3, 4, 5, I guess. Because of that, because I can't use a 1 anymore, which actually gets me... oh, it's not quite a quintuple, is it? I do have to put a 7 in this column somewhere, though. At some point. I could put the 7 there, I suppose. Otherwise, I'm putting the 7 there. Yeah, I don't know there has to be a 2. I do know this can't be a 5, technically, because that would be too big. So this is a 2, 3, or 4, although that doesn't feel like the largest deduction that I've ever made in a Sudoku puzzle, but maybe it will be more impressive later. Let's see. Yeah, Garion has a somewhat complicated argument about this being a 1 that I'm willing to look at in a minute after looking at other things. Yeah, so the way that Garion is thinking about this is what's the minimum that these could sum to, given that they have 2 but not 3 digits in common? Let's see. How am I supposed to? How am I seeing this at least? Let's see. The way Garion said it seemed pretty clean, but I've now forgot it. Uh, 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 oh, right. Blue is 1 larger than the digit you repeat. So oh, that seems messy. I believe that you could math this out if you wanted. Let's see. Let's see. The self-proclaimed set princess. Okay, we can try and do it the set princess way. Okay, so have all the digits 1 through 9, all the digits 1 through 9 again. Maybe I really want to do this with colors. I think this is going to get messy if I try and do it with lines, which I think means I'm going to have to let go of my coloring to do this. Oops. So all the digits 1 through 9 against all the digits 1 through 9, or sort of add both of those and then subtract this box. Is that what you said? I think was Selena's, yeah, the minus box 5. So then subtract this box. I guess I should have made this green instead of red, and then we can red this to subtract it. And so these reds overlap yellow. These reds overlap green. This red overlaps one of them, so who cares? We'll throw away the red and the green and leave the yellow. This 8, 9 is in both of them, so we can take out one of the 8, 9s, I guess. Oops, sorry. Take out one of the 8, 9s, I guess. No, that doesn't seem like a good idea. I probably want to do this with the arrows. Yeah, cancel the arrows. So, yeah, so cancel this with those, except I get this left over. Is the messy part. It's like red is the same as all of these together. So to do that, I have to keep track of the deficit that I have somehow intelligibly. Because my okay, yeah. So the thing to do is to just make the one red and delete all the rest of this. That does work, yeah. Because if I make the one, if I basically just say this red minus this green, what is it? It's this cell. And so I can keep the balance of the sums by doing that. Yes. And I can keep the balance of the sums by doing the same thing over here. And so so now the point is that this sums to 45 more. Oh, I guess, yeah, I can cancel that too. Yeah, that's fair. Right. This green adds to 45 more than red, is the point. And so that is 24 plus 23 is 47. And so if green is 47 and that's 45 more than red, then this is also 1. I feel like that's probably not what was intended, but maybe it was. I don't know. That is crazy that works out, and crazy that Selena saw it, though. That is something. So that does make these 1, 6, because I need to put the 1 in this box somewhere. Let's see. Yes, you got to come for Zeta attempts to figure out Selena's set argument for the maths. Let's see. So this is also 2, 3, 4, 5. If this is a 9, then this is 3, 6, or 4, 5. I don't know that I really want to go to that level of granularity. Well, this is never 4, 5. Oh, is the point this arrow just can't add to 9? Oh, or if it did add to 9, it would be 3, 6. Oh, do we want the coloring back? We can have the coloring back if we thought the coloring was relevant. And then just slap in that 1 was the conclusion of that. It is true. Now the reds sum to 15 because the total of these is 17. So these do sum to 15. Let's see. I do agree that there is definitely now a 3 on this arrow, which seems like maybe the thing we should have done before we did all of this. Because I think that's probably easier than the other thing. Because this arrow doesn't have a 1 or a 2. I'm kind of curious. We might not have needed this. Because this arrow does need a 3. Because if it's 4, 5, then this is 1, 2, 3, and that doesn't work. And notably, that was the one we already knew about. This was the one we got through trickery. So there's definitely a 3 here. So this is a 3, 5, or 3, 6. Are the options for this. So 3 is not the repeated digit, right? Because the repeated digit, remember, goes here. The repeated digit can't be 3 anymore because there's a 3 on at least one of these. And so if that's not 3, that means these aren't 4. Which is good. Yeah, these I can get rid of the 3s. So I need to have 1s and 2s here for sure, because of that. Because I can't use 3, so I need 2s in here somewhere. So yeah, it's either 124 or 125. Could be 3, 4, 5, 7. Okay. Okay. So this also can't be 4, 5, but I don't think it's quite as exciting. Because I don't know that there's a 2 on it. These digits. One of them is a 4. So these are 3, 4, 5, 7 is the point. Yeah, I do know one of these two is a 2 for what it's worth. Just by sudoku. Let's see, if that's a 2, then this is 4, 5. And so this is made without 2 or 5. So it would be 1, 3, 4. Should make that a 9, I suppose. Yes, we did lose the 1, 6 pencil marks. You're right. Yeah, we pencil marked that and then lost it. Yeah, I've been thinking the whole time that was going to be relevant, but it has never at any point been relevant. Let's see. Is the point that if this is 7, then those 2 digits are those 2 digits, and that does something weird? Feels like that could be relevant, but I don't see how it would do anything here. But this being 7 would force that arrow and this arrow to be the same, which feels that feels more on theme with what we've done this whole puzzle than some of the more elaborate arithmetic deductions. Not that there's anything wrong with sort of mixing deduction types when setting this kind of puzzle, but it feels like that would be a very on-theme way in terms of what we've done so far. But who knows? It's possible it was completely intended to find these 2 1s right away. I do not know. Okay. So I do know one of these is 1, 2, 4 for whatever that is worth. Not a whole lot, I presume. Yeah, 7 does sort of force the 7. The 7 in this box is yeah, are there any restrictions on this? Well, it has a 2 or a 3. So I guess that means because it has a 2 or a 3, that does mean like these digits definitely aren't 1, 2, 3 for what it's worth. So These are certainly from 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We know things like those aren't 7. This one's not 8 or 9. In fact, that one's not 8 or 9 because this one is 8 or 9. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, okay, yeah, there can't be a 4 or a 5 on this, I don't think. Oh, sorry, it could be 3, 5, sorry. There can't be a 4 on this, so the 4 in this row is over here somewhere, but I can't figure out what to do with that. Yes, 7 in column 7 has 2 distinct spots, I believe, which are there, where it would go with a 2 and make this 9, and there. Oh. Wait, do I know the 4 is here and not here? Why do I know there's not a 4 in here? If I knew that one of these two was 4, I would know this was a 2, and that would be really, really swell. Red blindness. It affects us all. Let's see. I think chat concluded there's 2 possibilities for the way that these things sum to 15. If it's 2 1s and 2 2s, then we need a 4 and a 5. And if it's 2 1s and 2 4s, then we need a 2 and a 3. I think those are the 2 options. Let's see. If there's a 6 here, then that digit exactly is a 6 in terms of where the 6 ends up in this box. Let's see, if there's a 3 on here, then this is a 3 4. Which seems likely. If this is a 2 5, it makes that digit exactly a 4. So these 2 digits are never 4. Oh, 4 is on this arrow. Right? Wait, did I do that wrong? Sorry, no. I'm just saying these... No. No. Yeah. Right, yeah. The neither of these digits can be 4, because if either of these digits is 4, it makes all 3 of these digits 2 5. So 4 is on this arrow. That is, yeah, that's the point, is that we haven't... almost locked set or something, Sam Kappelman Lyons might say. So these can't be 4. So yeah, so this is a 1, 2, 4. Hey, Shara Lampos, welcome. We have just found a 1, 2, 4 arrow, which I believe makes green 8 and yellow 9. Da 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 da. Okay. So yeah, so we've done that. Okay, so get rid of that now. So if this is 8, that means these are 3, 5. So this is the other 3, 5 up here for what it's worth. Let's see, I can get rid of the 1 and the 2 off of that. Oh, I have another 8 in the grid. Oh, yes, this is an 8. There we go. We've got rid of our 8s and our 9s. Right, and so now we have placed the 6 in this row. That was one of the things we kept looking back at, but there kept being the possibility that this was 6, but it can't be any more. That's a 6 and that's a 1, which makes that a 1. Which makes that a 1. So these two now add to 7. And so these two are these two now. So we now get to do this coloring trick. So let's bring in a new color, purple. Because these two are a way to add to 7, and it's not that one, and it's not 1, 6. So those are purple. Now, does them being purple do anything? That I could not tell you, but it seems important. So, I mean, that means this digit is a 6. That's the point. So, this is the other 2, 3, 4, 5. And so that digit sees all of 2, 3, 4, and 5, so it's a 6. That is, I think, the point. At least that was what I was trying to make the point for almost the entire puzzle. So this is the other purple 2, 3, 4, 5 in this column. Let's see. So, I don't know if those are orange or not. Sorry. I should be careful about this. I probably need to get rid of the other colors because, I don't actually know that there aren't overlaps between these things. In fact, I specifically don't know that there's not overlaps between these things. So I'm going to switch to this color palette for the moment. So that's 6. Yeah, that's 6 doesn't immediately do anything. These two things add to 9, which is not 1, 8, or 3, 6. And it's not 4, 5, because that would destroy this. So these are only 2, 7, is the deduction that chat has found. And so if those are 2, 7, that makes this 3, 4, which makes this not 7 or 4. So this is a 5. It means that's not 5. This digit is only 1 digit. Oh, sorry, that's right. This is 3 or 4, so we should do that. This digit is known. Nicholas, Selena, and Shara Lampos have pointed out. This is a 6. This 3, 4 looks at this and makes that a 2 and that a 4. These aren't 3, 4. No, really. They are not. Now I have a Zach Wing looking at this, by which I just mean I have identified the 2 5s that live in row 7 and row 8, so there can be no more 5s. And ergo, this is a 6. which makes that a 2, 4. It makes that a 5 and a, 5 and a 2 add to 7, not 5 and 4. 3 and 5, like that. We can probably fill in these digits now with Mark's help. That seems to be a 3. That seems to be a 5. Let's see. My corner marks seem to tell me that's a 6. Let's see. So that's not a 6. Oh, this is the other. Wait. No. This 3, 4 looks at that cell. How about that? The alternative way was to say that the repeated digit worked out to be 4, which would have worked equally well. That was what Nicholas suggested, but I saw it the other way, the way that involved doing Sudoku, the unmentionable art. 7, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, some unspecified digit. 3, I think, is the unspecified digit. So let's see. 2 plus 3 doesn't work, so this has got to be 2 plus 5. It is 2 plus 5 is 7. It's the thing I was thinking it wasn't going to be. It's orange. But speaking of, I'm going to get rid of the color before I have to fill it all in. And so we can fill in the rest of the grid, I think, now. 6, 3, 4, 2, 6, 5, 3, 2, 4, 4, 2, 6, 5, 3, 4. Very nice. I liked that one a lot. One has to do an arrow puzzle like this every now and then. I think it's good for the soul. Not too often. There's only so many arrow puzzles, but every once in a while. And this was one of my favorite pure arrow puzzles I've ever done, for sure. I'm going to take a quick break, stretch my legs, and come back and do another puzzle. So see you all and in just a moment. I am curious, actually, did we use the set? I don't think we used the set, because I think the 6 that got placed here, I don't think relied on anything we did with the set. But the set was very nice. I liked the set. And it would not at all surprise me if Fuchsia said either I completely designed it for the set from the start and the series of deductions you made through the puzzle was strange and weird and unintended, or I never noticed the set before, Tall Cat and I destroyed poor Jay Dyer's arrow puzzle in some pack that we did when Tall Cat and I were solving together, and we turned one of her puzzles into a set puzzle that was not intended to be, by doing a similar thing. So it can happen both ways. But anyway, I will be back in a moment. All right, welcome back. We're back with a dual massu by Paltrion. Or sorry, I've always in my head said Paltrion, but I realize that's not the order those letters go in. It's Palitron, apparently. Apologies to Palitron for all previous butcherings of their name. And apologies for when I default back to saying Paltrion every time when I see their name again. But I'll eventually try to understand it. So this is a loop puzzle. It's a variation of massu. If you have done massu puzzles before, where we have to draw a loop in the grid, so no numbers of any kind. We don't have to worry about those. But instead of one loop, we have two loops. And so the rule is if a loop goes through a white circle, it has to go straight through the white circle. It cannot turn in the white circle, but it must turn on one of the sides at least. So the thing you cannot do is this. That is broken. You cannot do that. But this would be fine. It doesn't have to turn on both sides, just one side or the other, but it can turn on both. That's perfectly fine too. So this is also perfectly acceptable. We did do number 1 on stream, yes. By the way, I can give you a link for this in chat as well, probably. Replacement master. There we go. Now, black dots are the opposite, except they have to turn in the black dot, and then they cannot turn again in the immediate cell afterwards. So you have to do something like this, a 90-degree turn through here, and you can't turn in either of the immediate cells. So the thing you can't do is you cannot do that. That breaks both of the black dot rules. No, cannot do that. Okay. Now, all circles must be visited, but you don't have to visit every cell. You only have to visit the circles and as many other cells as you need to in order to visit all the circles. And now, in this case, there are 2 loops rather than 1. And the loops can only cross each other orthogonally. But they can't cross themselves, so I can have 2 loops like that. They can crisscross like that. Now, it does note loops are allowed to cross on white circles, but I don't think they're only allowed to cross on white circles. They're just only allowed to turn or cross each other orthogonally. Note you're specifically not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to have the loops like meet at a corner like that. That is naughty and inappropriate. So that is the rules. We'll slowly work our way towards having a color for some of these things, but we'll figure out at least some things. So I'll just start with green for like things that I generically know. I'm glad the loop doesn't possibly change color when turning this time. That I am also glad for. That was one of the most brain-breaking puzzles I've ever done. Oh, yes. Okay, so definitely the loop has to cross because I see immediately it has to cross, or sorry, the loops do cross here. So they don't only cross on white, I suppose. So I can note, I only sort of filled in a color there because it seemed worthwhile. They both have to obey the white circle if they cross the white circle. Yeah, there's a crossing down here as well, right? And so that crossing also, actually, that one we can even extend a little bit, like that. We'll sort of try and figure out how to color this monstrosity eventually. This one has to do that. Yes, this one definitely is going to be a crossing as well. Wait, does it have to be? Okay, well, that one has to do that, and this one has to do that. There's going to be a crossing down here somewhere, but I don't know exactly where yet. Right, these two can't... I can't ever draw a loop that goes through both black circles, so because then it would have to turn at the black circle, but it can't turn at the black circle, and that is a problem. So we always have to do that, which means maybe I should do this. Oh, I don't know what on earth did I do down there? I don't know. Don't trust me with a loop puzzle. Yeah, I don't know. That one and that one were both very questionable in terms of what they do. Okay, so the fact that this does this now means this has to turn up, because if it turns down, then we've broken the massu rule. And these two really are the same color because they both cross that one. So this has to go up. Now, note, I don't actually know. Maybe I should be using gray for ones I don't know anything about the color. It's really hard to keep track of exactly how I'm supposed to notate this. I don't actually know that this is the green. This could be orange. But this orange certainly needs to turn down because it can't go crashing in here. It can't cross it because it would go off the grid. So we certainly have that. Okay. This cell, right. Sorry. This cell can't go vertically. Sorry. I was thinking people were saying that this was a crossing, but if this goes vertically, we're forced into that unfortunate, inappropriate pattern. So this has to go like that and then turn on this side, although it could turn either direction. It doesn't keep going. Likewise, this one doesn't keep going. So we've got that. And this, we actually, I think now know, can't go down into that for the same reason. So this now has to go horizontal. This has to go horizontal. And that one has to keep going horizontal. And now this maybe turns up, depending on whether these are the same colors or different colors or whatever. We maybe abandoned the gray lines already. There we go. Okay, we have now gray line did. Although we're naturally going to pick other colors for other places once we start making coloring deductions, and then it's naturally going to turn out that the colors have to integrate. And there's no clean way to do this, because like this is colored and that's colored, but who knows if they are thing or not. Right. Row 4, column 4 can't turn up because that would be orange joining orange, and orange can't join orange in that way without breaking the black dot. So this orange definitely turns down. There's another sneaky circle in row 2. So there is. There is that circle. I'm trying to decide if this goes this way, if it breaks those white circles. I don't think it quite does. Yeah, this one certainly can only go vertically. Because it can't crash into that now. And this now has to turn this way, or the world is in peril. And now this can't keep going, because if this keeps going, then the white circle will be broken, and it can't turn into red because it'll run off the edge of the grid. So this turns that way now. The red has to keep going here, unless it changes color. Let's see. Yeah, I suppose this blue could turn down. I don't think I see a reason why it can't immediately. Yeah, this could maybe go that way. Let's see. We do know where row 3, column 1 goes, because it certainly can't turn into this corner here. Oh, I should make it gray. So this certainly goes here at least. Now, it could turn through the orange and become green. Or it could just go up and become orange. Let's see. David says this can't go right or it will get trapped. Oh, but then I think that got deleted. So row 5, column 1 has to turn. Right, so this definitely turns here because that went straight that way. So that's huge. Now, the question is, does it become orange or does it cross orange and become green? That I do not know. I do not know how I could know that, but I assume I will eventually know that. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So if this becomes green, that doesn't work because now I've got to get this green out of the corner, and that's not going to work, right? If this is green, yeah, I guess just the point is... Oh, no. This can be green, but if this is green, it goes there to exit. And the point is, if this becomes green, and I end up with the mini loop, somewhat like that loop puzzle we did from whoever it was last time. Yeah, I would end up forming a mini loop. So this just can't be green because both at the top and at the bottom, it would end up forming a loop. And so this is orange, not green. From Jay Dyer, the Choco thing. Right. Okay. And so now this orange can sort of go up like that. Woohoo! And now this green, we know what way it turns. And so this has now become green. And it must turn here because of the fact that this is a white circle. And so this goes over here, and this becomes red. And we're now at danger of red becoming green. Yeah, the size 10 mini loop. Yes, exactly. Okay, this can't be green anymore, right? If this is green, it can't get out. So this must be orange. Because, like, this end has got to get out somehow. So it's either getting out through there or through here. If this is green, it just can't escape. So this up here is orange. And so it can't turn down here, because if this turns down here, now green is orange where there's an inappropriate crossing, neither of which is good. So it has to continue, which means it does have to turn down here through there. This, therefore, now can't turn up or it will dead end, so it goes there. This green now has to turn down here. I'm now being told blue is orange, which would be very helpful to know. This gray, by the way, I see goes down here. Yeah, in row 1. Okay, so this orange certainly has to continue. There's no way it sort of turns into the red. And so... so now the funny thing is the orange either connects to the blue becoming blue or it crosses the red becoming blue. So blue is in fact orange. I agree. Regardless of which of those things is the thing that happens, which means that red is green, which seems fitting. Yes. If I cross here, the problem is I close the loop here because of this circle. Because if orange comes down here, that means this orange also comes down, but that's a problem because it comes down and closes the loop. So this orange, in fact, comes across here. The red-green show. Wow, I have not thought about the red-green show in quite a while. Hey, Vish, how are you doing? We are doing multicolor loop puzzles. Yes, this being vertical would be a problem because there's nowhere for it to go, and it would become a third color of loop, and let's not be crazy. And so if it's horizontal, it's definitely orange. And so we, in fact, get all of this stuff happening. This orange can't continue, so it has to turn in. In fact, it has to turn down. This orange end must also turn down if we look through it, and then it's forced through the T, which makes the T green. This orange, of course, cannot continue, and it can't turn left because then it'll crash into orange, so it has to keep going that way, where it has to turn. I do like green tea. In fact, I have some iced green tea at the moment. This can't turn because if it does, it's going to have to cross orange at a place where it can't cross orange. So this has to come through here like that. If orange goes up, orange just dies horribly, right? If orange goes up, there's nowhere it can possibly go. So orange had better go down and not up. Column 8 needs a turn, right? So, good point. So yeah, I can't go one further with green, which means this can't be vertical. It's definitely horizontal. This can't go up no matter what color it is. So this has to go down, which means that this is a crossing of some description. This can't turn right because it will force a T, so this has to turn left. At which point I'm inclined to say this thing has become green, but I'm not actually sure. This green has come this way now because it doesn't have any other way to go. So this orange comes here. And so now this has to be orange because if this is not orange, then it's a crossing and this white circle is broken because we've got two crossings. That's very clever. So we go that way, which now makes this green by virtue of the fact that it crosses orange. There we go. And of course, the green can't continue down there. We probably shouldn't close the orange loop, in which we're at some medium risk of going. This can't go this way, so it has to go that way, regardless of what it is. And then once it's gone there, it definitely goes there. Right, okay. Row 5, column 3 definitely can't turn right. It will cross and crash into and make another green T. So this goes down here. And this can't be an intersection because then it wouldn't be a turn. So this is green. Yeah, row 6, column 4 has nowhere to go but down, which I know is depressing if you're a row 6, column 4 supporter. Let's see. If this turns right, it breaks row 8, column 9. Yes. If this turns right, it has to go straight into this, which means it has to keep going straight, and then this is now broken. So this cannot turn right, I agree. Oops. This must turn left. Okay, so now this orange is going to have to cross this green either here or here. Because if it doesn't cross the green, it's going to close, and we know there's another orange segment over here. Okay, this segment now has to be vertical. Is it vertical green or vertical orange? But it's at least vertical. I agree with that. Okay, this has to be horizontal. And the bottom right can be reversed. Sorry, the bottom right, we sort of started and then sort of slowly evolved our way of notating this. These can absolutely be the other way around. I can make them red and blue, perhaps, just to make that clear. This gray can't go up or continue left, so it has to turn down. Wait, did I just... Oh, no. Which means this is an intersection. I see. Which means that's an intersection. It's like, did I just put a turn in a white circle? Which I did, but not because I thought turn meant white circle in this particular instance. It was because I filled in this white circle and this white circle, and it forced this to be an intersection, which I did not at first appreciate because I didn't look at this white circle at all. Yeah, row 11, column 11 has been here to make sure that we're not afraid that there's a mini loop. Yeah, when I first started making like double loop puzzles, that was always the hardest part, was like, how do I in the grid guarantee that there's no mini loop? Because like maybe the loop is a mini loop and there just is the other color that's just huge. Column 10, I need to be very careful about the turns because this is going straight through both of these. So it now needs to turn here. Good. Otherwise, we will break this white circle. No. Green can go there. Oh, no. Green can't go through here. If green continues here, then we run into really big problems that we've created a mini loop. So this green can't continue here, or this loop closes. So this really is green, I believe. And that means this really is orange. Did I give a bad proof of that? Or did I just give not the optimal proof of that? So now this has to be vertical. And if it's a vertical orange, I think we have very large problems because it can't turn that way or that way. So it better be a vertical green. There we go. Okay. And now this green had better turn that way, because if it turns the other way, we have a miniature disaster on our hands. Row 8. Yes. Row 8 has this turn here, which has to go down because I know orange isn't green. I don't know anything about green and red, although I think I'm about to know about green and red because now this has to turn and turn down. It can't turn that way. So I think green has become red. I was amused to see chat talking about finding the set break-in and knowing I was about to do a loop puzzle and being afraid that Selena will somehow figure out the way to do it with set. Loop set coming soon to a theater near you. Okay, so this orange can... Well, sorry, this green certainly can't turn that direction, because if the green turns this direction, it crashes into green, so the green turns this direction instead. Now the orange can't turn either way, so this orange just sort of keeps going about its day. Like you do. Busy day at the color ranch and all. Let's see. Orange going down looks appealing to me. I feel like the second of these has been a lot smoother than the first one was, but maybe I just have some experience building as far as doing loop puzzles recently. I do have to be careful to avoid closing either loop, because both loops are quite close to closing. If this is green, then it's certainly green going down. And that's going to do bad things. Because the orange here is going to have to go somewhere. And in the orange going somewhere, it's going to like escape out here or something. I don't know that I can't... I don't think that I can quite articulate exactly why, but yeah, I don't think this can be green. But maybe I'm missing an easier explanation as to why this would do something bad. Okay. If this is green, the point is now green can't escape out here, and so these two green ends are isolated by this green over here, and so they can't do anything but possibly like tie into it or tie into each other, and that doesn't work. So this is definitely orange. I agree. Yeah, that is much more elegant than my, like, oh, eventually this cell breaks. Yes, and as orange, it definitely can't go right, so it has to go left. Okay, and then it has to turn after that. Row 9, column 9 still needs to get out. It could go through here. If it doesn't go through there, I think that's going to be the bigger problem. If it doesn't go through here, then it's going to come down, and then come down again, and then the greens are going to close. Yeah, so So, yes, if this green doesn't come out through here, then the only exit for both of these greens is through this cell, but that means the loop closes. That's my attempt to say elegant-sounding loop words while articulating that. So I think what has to happen is this. Which means that this is certainly horizontal. Which means, let's see, yeah, this can't become orange. If this is orange, then again, this green end has, doing that. Yeah, there are only two exits, would be another elegant way to say it. So yeah, this is green's other exit. And by uniqueness, we know it's going to have to do one of those, I think. This orange assuredly can't turn up. That will be a disaster. Can't turn up there either, so this has become orange. And now the orange does turn up by the Selena rule of white circles, which is admittedly the one I always forget. So I appreciate that we have Selena to enforce the Selena rule. If this goes up, it definitely is going to close the loop. So that's not going to work. So this is going to have to go over here. Now, okay. So now this orange can't keep going straight. It can't turn down. So this orange actually has to turn up. But this green has to keep going, which is going to force this orange to do that because of the rules about intersections. And so all of that's going to work out. And so now this green actually can't turn up. It's going to have to keep going as well. It's going to become this particular gray. So orange is going to come up here. This is going to have to turn because of the white piece over here. Now, as noted by uniqueness, but now just by white dot rules, now that has to do that. Row 9, column 4 needs a turn, right? So that, so yeah, there's a sort of a dead end there. So this green can't keep going and it can't turn down. So this green can only turn up like that, which now means this orange can't keep going up, which means this has become orange. I suppose this X is now orange, actually. If this orange comes down through here, it's going to be a big problem because it's not going to be able to get out. So this orange doesn't do that either. This orange comes up here, which means it goes up like that, which now means that this gray is now green. Okay, and now this green now has to come down here. It can't turn there. It's going to get trapped. It's going to have to come up like that. And this green's going to have to come up like that. And now we're going to have to be really careful because this green can't turn into orange, or that's going to be a problem. Let's see. Oh, I see. Okay, so I have now visualized the solution. I just have to prove that it's the solution. If green comes up here and then then it's going to have to turn, and it's not going to let orange through. So green can't come up is the thing that one has to observe here. And so the green is in fact going to finish like that, with the orange coming through like this and like that. And there we go. I feel like we were way more efficient at this one than we were at dual massu 1. Very nice. I did enjoy that quite a bit. I always enjoy the loop puzzles. Alrighty, though. I think I'm going to wrap up stream there for today. Thank you to everyone for hanging out. We did more puzzles than we have been doing most of the time lately. We did 5 puzzles today, which is pretty good. So thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Huge thank you. Leave the little X in row 4 as a treat for ourselves for later. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone who supports the stream financially. It means the world to us. If you are new around here and you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It really does help. Plus, we'd love to have you back. Always neat to see new people in chat. Saw a few new names today, so that's always great. Do please consider coming back and joining us for our puzzle-related madness. If you want to support the stream, you can always do that by becoming a member, which you can click the $ number to do. For as little as $5 a month, you can become a member, and then you can get access to the Zach emotes. We don't have Big Zach emotes yet, but I'm sure Big Zach will demand his own emotes as he learns how to do the none one-digit dances. I guess now since last week, he's learned to do both 1 and 7-digit dances. So he's working up so that Zach can sometimes go on vacation without any disasters. All right, but thank you everyone very much. I'll stream next on Sunday. Tristan posted on the Discord about sort of what the new rough schedule is going to be once I start teaching again. So it's going to shift around to Tuesdays and Sundays, I believe. So the Sunday one is going to be a little later, and then there'll be a Tuesday one instead of a Friday one. But anyway, look forward to seeing you all this Sunday, which will be the next stream. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye for now.